Right now at 6, a deadly start to the year on Portland streets.
We often refer to crashes as accidents, implying that it just had to happen. They really don't. They are all preventable.
What advocates say needs to change before more lives are lost.
Plus, loved ones of a slain Portland cab driver confronting his killer in court.
Our family is forever dismantled, torn apart, and will never be the same.
Why some aren't satisfied with the plea deal that was taken. And
it's not good for the air quality at all, or the students or the people in the Park Rose community.
How high school students are teaming up to protest a potential polluter.
Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm David Molko.
And I'm China Green. We begin with an alarming increase in traffic deaths in the city of Portland. It's a trend that began back during the holidays and has carried over into the new year. So far in 2024, 12 people have died in crashes. That is double the amount of people who were killed through this point last year.
Let's bring in Thomas Schultz live now along Southwest NATO Parkway, the site of one recent and fatal crash. Thomas?
Yeah, well, David and China, advocates for safer streets say it's tragic that this continues to happen citywide, and they say it's time for some things to change.
We have a real epidemic.
From downtown to St. John's and over in Park Rose Heights, 4 people have died in crashes in Portland in the past 11 days.
They are all preventable. Not a single one of them needs to happen.
Less than 2 months into the year, 12 people have died in crashes. 38-year-old Jeremy Bankston was one of them. He was driving his motorcycle on Northeast 111th Avenue last Wednesday when police say he lost control. Now, flowers mark where he crashed.
It's an unimaginable loss to lose a child, to lose anyone to road traffic violence.
Sarah Rizzer lost her son 5 years ago in a crash. Now she's raising awareness, marking street posts across town where people have died.
It really opened my eyes to the problem.
And since the pandemic, the problem's worsened. Last year, 75 people died in Portland traffic deaths, making it the deadliest year in almost 40 years.
When we see these numbers, we want to know what's going on out there. We want to understand why these are taking place. We're going to look at this data.
Don Hamilton, a spokesman for the Oregon Department of Transportation, says some driver habits have changed post-pandemic.
We've seen a lot of really careless behavior this year.
He says ODOT crews are seeing more people ignore stop signs and drive through stop lights. Driving distracted or under the influence is a big problem too. And in a statement, the Portland Bureau of Transportation says there's ongoing efforts to make roads safer. One of the biggest is the Vision Zero program, aimed to eliminate traffic deaths. PBOT is doubling the amount of speed cameras citywide to 40 this year. And they've added school zone signs, slowing traffic on Powell Boulevard, too. Still,
it's really unacceptable.
Rizzer says more needs to be done.
I think directing funding towards safety is hugely important.
Now, Rizzer says she'd like to see additional steps taken. One that she's focused on right now is the enforcement of a city code which prevents drivers from parking on intersections within 50 feet of that intersection if they obscure traffic. Of course, if that does happen, then other drivers trying to turn onto the roadway may not be able to see oncoming traffic. Guys?
Yeah, something I've experienced firsthand. You know, it never hurts to slow down and take another look. Thank you, Thomas. In your headlines this evening, the Portland woman who was on the run after authorities say she killed her husband last month in the Lentz neighborhood has now been found dead. Authorities found the body of 55-year-old Annalisa Gold yesterday near Long Beach, Washington. She was wanted for the murder of 37-year-old Philip Pierce back on January 26. Portland police say it appears she died by suicide.
A plea deal has been reached in the stabbing death of a radio cab driver last year. Today, Moses Lopez pleaded guilty to killing Reese Lahan last April. Detectives say the gruesome attack was caught on camera inside of the cab and showed Lahan had been stabbed in the neck by Lopez. Family and coworkers took turns speaking about Lahan, calling him a caring and compassionate person who had a love for art.
He was a true member of the community. Somebody that you want to be friends with, somebody that you want in this community. And he was taken from the Portland community.
Lopez will serve 20 years on charges of first-degree manslaughter and 2 more years for unlawful use of a weapon. Family and friends of Lahan say that they were hoping for a harsher punishment.
Authorities have made an arrest in the 2022 murder of a Portland hotel security guard. 22-year-old Sir Charles Mark Anthony Jones was found shot to death that May in a vehicle near the Residence Inn on South River Parkway. The U.S. Marshal's Office says it tracked down Cedric Washington Jr. and arrested him yesterday. He is now charged with second-degree murder. No word on a potential motive.
Boeing has now ousted the head of its troubled 737 MAX 9 program. A company memo today said Ed Clark has left the company. This comes as Boeing's production and safety measures are being heavily scrutinized after last month's door plug blowout over Portland. Clark oversaw the company's Renton, Washington production facility where the MAX 9 involved in the door plug fiasco was finished. In the meantime, Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun plans to meet with FAA next week.
In Salem, the Senate has passed a bill that would crack down on drug use on public transit. Senate Bill 1553 expands the crime of interfering with public transportation to include drug use and makes it a designated Class A misdemeanor. That opens up access to state-funded treatment for offenders upon conviction. TriMet, the Oregon Transit Association, and the Amalgamated Transit Union all pushed for this legislation. Now heads to the House.
After the problematic rollout of the revised free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, the University of Oregon has now extended its fall enrollment deadline. The deadline for first-year students is typically May 1st, and it's now been pushed back to June 1st. Now, usually, universities have 5 months or so to put together financial aid offers for thousands of potential students. However, because families had to wait so long to file their student aid applications due to a system glitch, that window shrank to just 2 to 4 weeks. Matt?
Thanks, China. We're getting some nice clearing at the Oregon coast right now. A couple beachcombers down there enjoying the post-sunset glow. Temperatures are still in the 50s, too, so it's really not that cold out. And tomorrow, be even warmer and even drier, except up at Timberline where the snow continues to fly. There has been 8 inches of new snow since yesterday morning, so the skiing is excellent right now. It's going to get even better later in the weekend. I'll show you why. But for right now, showers beginning to wind down. Even up in the Cascades, they are contracting and constricting. Still a sprinkle over the east side of Portland here, just to the east of I-5, but the ones over the Coast Range are really beginning to back off. So the trend will be for these showers to end tonight, and we will have dry weather, not for one day, but for about 3 days. Nice warm up too at the end of the week. Temperatures on Friday, they peak. That'll be the warmest day of the week. Get up to about 60 degrees, so that'll be nice. Doesn't last that long though, because later Sunday, cold rain sets in. We're going to get heavy snow in the Cascades, and snow levels getting really quite low. We'll see how low in a bit, guys.
Good question. Thank you, Matt. You know what? Speaking of our climate, today students at Parkrose High gathered to discuss the potential environmental impact of a new freight warehouse that's in the works right by their school.
Our Deidre Johnson joins us from Northeast Portland with more. Deidre.
Yes, many of the students here at Parkrose High School are concerned about what's being built right across the street. They say it will bring too much pollution and too many trucks. They say what's going there now won't be good for the environment or for the students. Zanaya Nakasta runs track at Parkrose High School, even while battling asthma.
I take my inhaler before I go out for my 100-meter dash, and then I'm like, okay after that, but still out of breath. Hands above my head.
She's especially concerned about what's being built right across from her school.
It could make things really bad for me.
Real estate developer Prologis is leasing the site, planning to turn it into a $260,000 square foot freight distribution warehouse. On Wednesday, students at Parkrose High School held an environmental impact fair to discuss ways to protect the area.
Students feel like this is kind of being done to them. And at the same time, we're concerned about the public health effects, right? This community is disproportionately impacted by public health issues.
Besides the environmental impact, many students also being concerned about safety issues with the new facility.
I see so many kids walking by, and just adding trucks to the mix of like just regular cars is not a good idea.
The possible consequences of the extended use of these trucks and these shipping containers coming through literally through our school.
Teachers say it's important for the students to use their voice, including when it's something they're so passionate about.
These are the students, many who are multi-generational in the Parkrose neighborhood, who really care and want to see a more just and sustainable community that they can live in for years to come.
Now, we did reach out to Prologis to get comment from them, but we did not hear back. Also, the superintendent says a land use appeal has been submitted. Students say they would love to see a grocery store or even a community center go right there. Back to you.
Deidre, thank you. Coming up tonight on The Story, the city of Portland is trying out a new way to connect with people living on the streets.
Our Blair Best has a preview.
The city recognizes there needs to be an easier way to connect outreach workers to homeless people. There are currently 6 city outreach workers, and each can handle about 75 homeless people. So the big question here is that enough? The simple answer they've given is they don't know yet. The program launches Thursday with plans to grow their outreach team if needed. Basically how it works is someone can call 311 and they will answer a few questions, and then an outreach worker will try and find them within 3 days of that phone call.
So the goal is to put an outreach worker in front of an unsheltered homeless individual when they're asking for it and when they're ready to really work on taking that next step.
I don't know, I just really hope it is what they say it is and it actually works, because it seems like it's never ending out here.
Now, coming up tonight at 6:30 on The Story, we'll bring you to a secluded camp along I-5 to show you how hard it is for some homeless people who try to remain hidden but desperately want these services.